It really has been 10 years since the release of Dark Souls. Now, this series has been really popular amongst a lot of us for cut content, alternate routes that could have existed within the games, all sorts of interesting things that's been found by data mining, glitching, modding, cheat engine, all sorts of things over the years. And while Dark Souls didn't have as much cut content as its predecessor Demon Souls, it did have a number of interesting little things that were left on the disc that told us a bit about how the game could have been different based on earlier development ideas. And I wanted to just take a trip down memory lane here to celebrate the game's 10-year anniversary by focusing on one of the earliest cut content discoveries in Dark Souls, which doesn't seem all that interesting initially, but once you think about the implications, could have made major changes to how you play the game. Early on in the game, there are a few points in the Undead Burg where you can get a glimpse back towards the low detail model of the Firelink Shrine, and what initially appears to be the bridge that initially takes you up into the Undead Burg. When you look closer at the blurry distance model, you can actually see that it's connecting to the Firelink Shrine. Now, fortunately, we have modern tools. This is the Noclip website, which I highly recommend for casual map exploration. There's a couple dozen games up there that have their full map on the website, and you can explore it in a 3D viewer right there in your web browser. So using this, we can look at this low detail model up close, and we can see that it does indeed connect right to the Firelink Shrine, and this is not the aqueduct bridge that you go up the hill and walk through to get into the Undead Burg. Now, there is data for this on the disc, but there's not any collision. When we compare with the game's collision map, you can see there's no remnants of a path or anything going back here. But looking inside the walls, there is actually the remnants of a space where a path would have been, and there are ground textures going almost all the way over there and connecting up with this empty door in the wall. So now, this hole in the wall here only appears from the lower Undead Burg map. It's not visible from the Firelink Shrine, obviously, but this leads us then to wonder what it would have been like if this was in the game. After years of speculation about what this bridge would have meant for the gameplay, in early 2020, modder Dropoff created a mod that put this bridge back in the game, called Restored Capra Shortcut. You can find it on Mod Nexus, look for links to all of this in the description. This puts this shortcut back in the game, and we can take it here to the lower Undead Burg and see, based on the data left on the disc, and also adding, new textures back in. Dropoff did a little bit to make it functional, but it was pretty easy to see where it would have gone. And it brings us right down here near the door that leads to the depths. Now, presumably this would have still been locked, so what a lot of us have speculated is this means instead of going up the hill to the lower Undead Burg, you would have come in through here, seen that the depths was locked, maybe there wouldn't have even been a boss here of the Capra demon, or it would have been something much easier since this is right at the beginning of the game, and you would have then worked your way up this way into the lower Undead Burg to ring the upper bell, and then got the key and made your way back down so that it clearly shows you the door to the depths. Although this seems odd to anyone who's played the game in either of the traditional paths, a lot of people actually completely missed this part of the game and shortcutted past the depths in Upper Blighttown on accident because they just never figured out where the door was to lead into the lower Undead Burg, and instead just wandered around until they eventually found the gate and used the master key to make their way through, and eventually went down and fought Quelaag, having no clue that that was supposed to be a shortcut to Quelaag accessible from the beginning, and just thinking that that was the only place that they could go after going up and ringing the upper bell. So it would have made it really clear that you're supposed to come back and unlock this door to the depths, but it also is kind of a weird roundabout route to make your way through the game, whereas adding a much more direct route right in front of you up the hill that takes you into the lower Undead Burg, it definitely makes it easier to find your way. But that was one of the first sort of cut content, out of bounds things that we speculated about in the Dark Souls community way back in 2011 when the game first came out, just because of a blurry bridge we could see in the distance. So I hope you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Dark Souls, And I'll be doing more similar content with current games, maybe a few throwbacks to some of these games I've enjoyed in the past, in the near future. Thanks for watching Rolling Hearthstone.